And a warm welcome again to the big match. 3 excellent matches for you today on the programme. Our main match is West Ham against Queen's Park Rangers, a game of thrills and of marvellous skills on a pitch more like a paddy field. And we're going to back that up with Leicester City against Stoke City. And our special guest with an interest in that one is Chris Kelly, the Leatherhead marksman who faces Leicester in the Cup next week. And after that, Norwich City against York, where incredibly they had 2 goals in the first 90 seconds of the game. There's your letters as well, of course, and a new feature called the Big Match Playback, where we shall be recalling action from memorable matches shown over the years on this programme, with a chance for you to choose the ones that you want to see again. But first of all, it's down through the pouring rain to the East End of London. And what about these for conditions of play? It had really been throwing it down since midday, and it was only after a long deliberation by the referee, Peter Willis of Durham, that he decided that the game could go on. An afternoon, really, for umbrellas, and of course with puddles beginning to form right across that pitch at Upton Park. And absolutely no sign whatsoever of a let-up anywhere in the weather. A brave refereeing decision, and in the end it proved to be absolutely right, though I've no doubt the players were a little concerned. First, West Ham going through a less successful period at the moment, with only 1 win in their last 6 games, although they beat Queen's Park Rangers at Loftus Road in November. As for the Rangers themselves, they've lost only 1 of their last 7 games, and that was against Burnley last week. And they've already won 5 games away from home this season. But now let's look at the 2 teams that have to brave the elements there at Upton Park today. West Ham, they've made changes. Tommy Taylor at 5 is back after suspension. Billy Jennings at 7 returns after injury. Clyde Best gets the substitute spot. Rangers field the side that lost to Burnley, the only change there being that Mickey Leach is now preferred to Don Shanks as substitute. Terrible conditions for everyone, but most of all, of course, for the goalkeepers. What do they think about it? First of all, let's ask Mervyn Day of West Ham.
Well, conditions today will obviously be very soft underfoot, and however long a stud you have, it's still not really going to compensate for the fact that, you know, you could be slipping at siding, sort of when you're off balance at times, and you have to wear thick gloves because of the mud. It makes it just a little bit more difficult, but I mean, that's what you get paid for.
And what does Phil Parks of QPR think of the conditions?
Well, they're probably the worst you'll ever get for goalkeeping. The ball can skid, it can shoot anywhere really, and sort of you wear gloves but they get soaking wet sort of thing, and the longer the game goes on, the worse it seems to get. You have to try and change your gloves or try and dry them out, whatever you can do.
So the views there of the goalkeepers. The crowd now waiting for the start at Upton Park in spite of the rain is 28,000 strong.
West Ham kick off, attacking the goal to our right in claret shirts, light blue sleeves, white shorts. Queen's Park Rangers in their blue and white hoops, and as you already would have gathered, the conditions are going to be difficult in the extreme. But referee Peter Willis considered very carefully at about 2:15 and decided that with people in the ground and the fact he also felt that he could finish 90 minutes, that the game should go on. And I think a lot of people will applaud him for that. Taylor. Back to Mervyn Day. We should go through 1 or 2 pairs of goalkeeping gloves in the course of the next 90 minutes. West Ham's throw. Bonds going across to take it. A wet ball, difficult to get a long throw. Webb there with the header. Coleman going in there, hopeful of getting in a shot. And Robson having the ball taken off him again by Parks, and a corner given. No foul there by Robson, although Queen's Park Rangers are arguing with the referee to that point. And a corner to West Ham. Graham Padden will take it. And Rangers back in strength. 10 men back inside their own penalty area as Padden floats that free kick in there. Bonds there, and back. Oh, and did it go in? No, it didn't. Well, it was belted away by a Rangers defender. Caught another on the back. And then only a flying header away, saved it from going over, but there had been an infringement there. And now a chance for a break by Rangers, and they know it. Clement taking it up. On for Don Givens, who's got Bowles in the middle. And Coleman away for the corner. Stan Bowles had gone, number 10 had gone roaring into a good position there, if only ball could have got across to him, but they've got a corner. Coleman taking no chances whatsoever. So Masson with the corner for Queen's Park Rangers. Taylor's header away. Rangers throw. Bowles. Found just that yard of space. Oh, and what a fine save by Mervyn Day from David Webb. That was a superb piece of goalkeeping. A lovely cross by Bowles, found just that yard. Webb had sneaked in there and got a beautiful on-target header. And what a save by Day. Webb right in there again. Day anxiously on his goal line too. And another corner. Robson there, and Taylor there. Taylor giving it away to Gibbons though. Masson now to Don Gibbons again. There's another cross, and Webb almost got in another header, and so too did Francis. But now Billy Jennings for West Ham. Play on, said the referee, and there's Brooking allowing it to run with Robson outside him. Keith Robson. Billy Bonds. Good swift tackling by Jerry Francis on the West Ham skipper. Kevin Locke coming up. Played into the odds of penalty area. Jennings might take advantage of it now. Thomas being told by Gillard to get it away, but decides nonetheless he's going to play it back to Parks. Brooking. Played beautifully, and the crowd enjoyed that. Locke coming in on the loose ball and playing it, a deliberate handball by Francis. Referee going across, but not to take his book out or anything, although that really was quite a deliberate handball there by Jerry Francis, the Rangers skipper. Stopped a West Ham attack developing. But Lampard now to Brooking. Played on beautifully by Brooking for Padden. There's the shot, and there's the goal by Billy Jennings in his comeback game. Jennings puts West Ham into the lead. Good build-up again, and as that ball slithered across that Queen's Park Rangers 6-yard area, in the end it was a simple tap-in. 1-0 to West Ham. Locke not risking the back pass because Bowles was onto him. Francis did so well there, and back with a shot. Oh, what a save again by Day. That's two tremendous saves by Mervyn Day. The first from Webb's header, and then that almost point-blank shot as the ball fell for John Beck. A tremendous save by Day. Jennings again for West Ham, played nicely for Padden. That favourite left foot of his, and it might come for Robson. Now it'll come for McDowell. Hit it, they say! Oh, and it was just too high. Great shot by McDowell. And these two sides continue to serve up some brilliant football in these terrible conditions. Pintock. Bowles, Masson, played on towards Gibbons. And Lampard back to Mervyn Day. Now, was that too many steps by Mervyn Day? It's a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. Indirect, inside the penalty area. Day has taken too many steps. And now there's an interesting situation. West Ham have brought everybody, bar none, back into their area. 2, 4, 5, 6 in the wall. Jerry Francis there as a disruptive element. And Bowles, Masson, and Clement standing over it. It's an indirect free kick, of course, because it's inside the penalty area. Otherwise it would be a penalty, so he's got to play it there for Masson. Through the wall to go! Don Masson has equalised for Rangers, and Mervyn Day could do nothing about that but sit in the mud. A little touch-off by Stan Bowles. A great shot there by Don Masson, and that's his first goal for Queen's Park Rangers, and the equaliser for them, making it 1-1. Now with Taylor. Obviously a flaw in that West Ham wall. And they've found one or two flaws in opponents' walls this season. They really were getting a bit of their own medicine there. And Masson made sure they had to take it. But now a free kick to West Ham. Graham Patton with it. Bonds right in there. And Robson, no, it wouldn't go for West Ham. Locke. Lampard. Flicked on again towards McDowell. Wouldn't run for him though. I don't know who's got to do the washing this week, but they've got a fair bit of mud to get off those shirts and shorts. Francis now for Queen's Park Rangers. Lampard in first. Padden turning it on. A back heel there by Robson, unfortunately for West Ham, going straight to Masson. And now with John Beck. That little cross almost came for the number 4, Masson. Don Gibbons will get this one. No, it's a throw though. Bowles to Francis, now to McClintock, played for Beck. Beck again, a little touch off again, and there's the goal by Clement. No, it's disallowed. The referee has disallowed it. Well, that's a mystery. There must have been a Rangers player in an offside position. The goal is disallowed, and it stays at 1-1. Thomas trying to wriggle his way through. And a free kick given to QPR. Indirect for an infringement by Coleman, who in fact is going to be booked. Confess I didn't see what that was for. The referee saw something that we didn't see, the crowd didn't see, and Keith Coleman's name goes in the book. Don Gibbons there showing what variation on the free kick he wants. 3 fingers in the air. The secret QPR sign. Gillard playing it in again. It might work for them. It had to be fisted away. Jerry Francis tucking it in. And it was knocked off the line by Billy Jennings. Well, Francis came so close to scoring with that one. He did first time. Knocked off the line by Jennings. Robson taken neatly there on his chest. A yard or two ahead of him. Going past one rather half-hearted challenge after another. And a free kick. No, a penalty. A penalty there as Robson was brought down. And referee Peter Willis deliberated for some time, and he's going to be booked, McClintock. He's going to be booked for showing dissent. And the referee deliberated. He went right across there to make sure that infringement occurred inside the penalty area. He decided that it was inside the area, and West Ham get the penalty. McClintock is booked, and Billy Bonds is the man who is now on the spot. So the second name to go in the book. First Keith Coleman, drying the ball on his shirt. and knowing now he'll have made up his mind where he's got to put it against the massive frame of Phil Parkes. Some 6'2", 6'3" of him, a man who's played for England. Billy Bonds, the man with the skipper's responsibility for West Ham. Oh, in off the post! Well, the luck went Billy Bonds' way. He's talking there to Tommy Taylor because he didn't hit it properly. He knew he didn't hit it properly, but the luck was with him as it went in off the post, with Parkes going the wrong way. West Ham 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Billy Bonds' 11th goal of the season. That includes 2 right early on in the Texaco Cup, but a goal now that puts West Ham into the lead right on half-time. Lampard now for West Ham. The last 2 games between these 2 sides here at Upton Park, between them have produced 12 goals, 4-3 in, I think it was 68-69, and to West Ham that was 2-3 in favour of Queen's Park Rangers last season. And we've already had 3 now before half-time, with West Ham leading 2-1. Beck for Rangers. Not had at all a bad first half, John Beck. Thomas, I don't think he'll get up in time, no. Bonds. Taylor. Bit of skill there. Trying it again. And then gives it away. That's dangerous. Here's Gibbons now. And Coleman going right across there. And in the end, it was Graham Patton who can bring it away. And Tommy Taylor and Kevin Locke having words. Locke telling Taylor what he thinks about him. Now Brookie. As the whistle goes for half-time, and a first half full of skill on a treacherous surface, and the crowd responding to the efforts of the team in this first 45 minutes. Number 7, Billy Jennings, putting West Ham into the lead. Don Masson equalising for Rangers with that free kick. And then Billy Bonds putting West Ham ahead again from the penalty spot. An excellent first half considering the terrible conditions, and a lot more to come on the big match this afternoon. But we will be back shortly with the second half of West Ham against Queen's Park Rangers with a half-time score. West Ham 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
Thirty-second cue coming up.
Welcome back then to Upton Park. The first half a tribute to both sides in these conditions. Let's hope the second can match it, with Queen's Park Rangers now attacking the goal to our right. McClintock with the header. Here's Brooking. Most of the players have changed their shirts, and I would think that Phil Parkes has probably changed his gloves as well. So we can see the numbers at last, which is not bad. Now Bowles. Yes, Bowles was impeded there, and that was a good decision by the referee, and it's a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. Well, there, 1 goal so far has come from a free kick, but that was a little closer to the goal inside the box. Don Masson is over the ball. Mervyn Day wants a sight of it. I wonder what variation they'll come up with this time. I notice that Dave Clement is... No, it's always a flick over there, and Jerry Francis is in there. Oh, and he hit the post. Well, you couldn't have got a better free kick than that. A loop over the wall by Masson. And Francis catching it on the volley, taking West Ham by surprise. Hit the post. And West Ham breathe again. Givens. And again, Locke will not give Bowles a sight of the ball. And he played well there, Kevin Locke, because he's found Robson as well. He's got Brooking up, but Robson is taking on Webb. And Webb timed his challenge well. Oh, Patton really whacked that at Webb. Now Robson again. A deep cross. Billy Jennings is there. Brooking is there. And it's just over the top from McDowell. Nice build up there by West Ham after Robson had taken on the defence. Robson playing it across there. A nice nod down by Jennings. Brooking collided there with Parks. And McDowell nodding the rebound just over. Lampard's header, two good headers there by Beck. Playing along the line for Thomas. Can he get round Lampard? That looked to me a bit like a push. That looked to me a bit like a push in the area. And he's given a penalty. That looked like a push to me, and I believe the referee and linesman are right. He's given a penalty to Queen's Park Rangers. The second penalty of the game. Stan Bowles, who has been the target of the crowd, has a chance to silence them again. And the West Ham players, I think, are going across to ask the referee to consult the linesman. Maybe the linesman has something to say, but the referee won't hear them. Now they went across, now he's going across to the linesman. And the linesman still says it's a penalty. So, can Bowles beat Mervyn Day to make it 2-2? The boos are ringing around Upton Park. They won't worry Bowles. As cool as you like. And he scored! And that's 2-2. The great smile of triumph from Stan Bowles brings the score back to 2-2. There are boos everywhere, but that left foot placed it so accurately, and Day had no chance. Stan Bowles, the equaliser for Rangers, and now everything to play for. I know when Jerry Francis came into the studio last Sunday, he said that he felt that QPR could take West Ham today. And Stan Bowles confirmed that before the game. He said that they really fancied that they could win here. Well, they've brought it back to 2-2. Brooking and a free kick. Webb too high on Brooking's back, though I'm bound to say that Brooking was ducking pretty low. Well, it certainly leaves it with a pretty interesting finish, with something like 17 and a half minutes to go. Rangers won 3-2 here last season. I think Graham Patton might fancy his chances. There's a tremendous shot by Patton, but it went into the side netting. Half the crowd thought that it had gone in, and the other half knew that it hadn't. Really does clobber those shots, Graham Patton, and he hit that superbly. And a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. And Clyde Best is going to come on as a substitute. So it's Keith Coleman who's going off. So Coleman, the number 2, is going off. A fullback goes off and a forward comes on. A rearrangement in the West Ham side. Stud inspection, and West Ham will hope a little more firepower to bring them that winning goal in the few minutes that remain. Lock. Well, that won't go. Yes, it will. Taylor to Best. Well, it's not easy for Clyde Best. It's always difficult at the best of times for a substitute to come on and get into the tempo of the game. But in these conditions, it really is a terribly difficult job for him. It's Rangers' free kick. Ian Gillard asking David Thomas, I think, if he wants to take it, and Thomas said no thank you, so it'll be the left-footed Gillard. Hit low, could still come. Webb is right in there again, and West Ham are having trouble getting this away. Bowles is in there too, and finally Billy Bonds gets it away to Clyde Best, and Rangers get another throw. About 8 minutes to go. Best again. Oh, and he's played it straight there to Clements, or rather, oh, a tremendous save by Day. Tremendous save from John Beck. Really a mistake by Clyde Best playing that across the field there. Beck caught it well. Good tip over by Day and a corner. Masson will take it. A little chip towards the near post. That was Lampard getting it away. McClintock's header. Robson. And McClintock couldn't do anything with that one. Lampard. McDowell. Jennings to Billy Bonds. Flicked on again towards Clyde Best. And McClintock so easily back to Phil Parks. Bowles just nodding that on, and Thomas right in there. Bowles again, still with Bowles, a great chance, and this could be it. No, Gibbons has missed it, and somehow it was kicked away right at the last. Well, what a chance that was for Rangers. Bowles doing superbly, Day equaling it. Gibbons couldn't quite get it in, and finally it was hiked away behind for the corner. Bowles trying a little bit of magic on the far side, and it didn't fall for him that time because Jennings now can take it up for West Ham. Brooking, free kick. Foul by Masson. We're in the last minute of the game. And I think it'll be Day who tries a long kick downfield. They thought about playing the offside, and in fact the whistle has gone maybe a few seconds early. But really a match that's a tribute to this referee in many ways, Peter Willis, for allowing the game to go on in the first place. A brave decision by him, fully justified by the skill shown by both sets of players. Stanley Bowles then with the penalty in the second half, number 10, bringing the score to 2-2. But really it was an afternoon that was a credit to everybody concerned with West Ham and with Queen's Park Rangers. So a final scoreline here at a very damp Upton Park that reads West Ham 2, Queen's Park Rangers 2.
Yes, it was a match that really restored your faith in the game. That was if it was needed. And on the ability of modern-day footballers to conquer the conditions, which they did superbly. Several points, though, need clearing up. First of all, that disallowed Rangers goal in the first half. Why did the referee knock it out? A lovely little layoff here, and you'll see why it was disallowed as Dave Clements takes it in. Stan Bowles, in fact, is in an offside position on the left of the picture. There, you can see him. QPR might say that he wasn't interfering with play, but West Ham would say certainly he was influencing play, and technically the referee was absolutely right to disallow it. The next point of issue, of course, is how many steps did Mervyn Day take when that free kick was awarded against him? Goalkeepers, of course, are allowed to take 4 steps handling the ball. How many did Mervyn take? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 4.5 at any rate. Technically, again, the referee was right, though I've certainly seen many goalkeepers take more steps than that and get away with it. But what it meant was that Mervyn Day then had to face this free kick from Don Masson. And an interesting point to look at here is in the West Ham wall, there are 6 players, but also Jerry Francis is there in the hoop shirts. And look what he does. He ducks, the ball goes through the gap, and Mervyn Day, who'd moved slightly to the left there as we look at it, had no chance at all. But West Ham certainly paying the penalty for allowing one of the enemy to infiltrate their wall, and that's been done before. But of course the 2 major controversial issues were the 2 penalty decisions, and on both occasions we say the referee was right. Here's the first one. Keith Robson now taking on Frank McClintock and beating him and going inside the penalty area. Now David Webb comes across from the right, and the point of contact is made inside the box there. Look at the referee, beautifully placed to see it all. It doesn't matter where Robson finishes, up or the ball. The point of contact on the West Ham player was inside the box. We look at it again from another angle. There's Robson again going past Frank McClintock. David Webb again coming in inside the box. The point of contact is made. Forget where Robson finishes, forget where the ball finishes. The referee was right. In the second half now, the penalty to Queen's Park Rangers. Frank Lampard there wrestling with Dave Thomas outside the box. We say that goes on inside the box as well. It could well be too that the West Ham player caught Dave Thomas on the back of the leg. And look at Frank Lampard as he gets up. Where does he look? He looks at the referee because he fears that he's given away a penalty. And on that occasion, Frank Lampard was absolutely right. Full marks there to the referee on both those hairline decisions. For our next match, though, we go into the Midlands for Leicester City against Stoke City, and the return to Filbert Street, of course, of Peter Shilton. Just a few glimpses of that match that I know will interest our guest today, Chris Kelly of Leatherhead. Leatherhead, of course, who meet Leicester in the Cup at Filbert Street just next Saturday. The pictures come from ATV. The commentator is Hugh Johns. Leicester are in the dark shirts.
Worthington. Switching in here for Rowe. Lover, good return ball for the fullback. Good cross. Oh, and first Worthington, then Weller. Missing a chance. That's handy. And that's a goal. No! Birchenall, Worthington. Birchenall denied then, shaking his head in almost disbelief as the brilliance of Peter Shilton denied Birchenall a goal. Jump by Mahoney. Worthington. Birchenall. Glover. Earl. He's made space for himself. Did it beautifully. Took it away from both Skeels and Hasselgrave. Made the opening he wanted, but then snatched at his shot and was wide of the goals. Using the long kick of Peter Shilton quite often in this game to exert pressure on Leicester. Hurst being impeded by Monroe. Salmon's over the ball. Hudson, the number 10. Salmon's there. Oh, and that is in there. Now it was Hurst and Monroe went together, and Hurst has scraped it in. A remarkable goal that has broken the deadlock. And with 12 minutes into the second half, and Stoke are 1-0 up. So the free kick scoops into the box, and as Monroe and Hurst go together, Hurst gets the last touch. Stoke fans, far side of the ground, really believe their side have got the 2 points here. Hudson for Salmons. Into the wall, Mahoney. Played under it, and Worthington tried to go past him. Now Weller. Chased by Salmons. Worthington now. Weller. It's Glover. That's 1-1. There's the equaliser. 1-1, and the crowd erupts around behind Shilton's goal as at last the great man is beaten. 42 minutes into the second half, and Peter Shilton's beaten. The score 1-1. Weller crossing that ball deep to the far post, and Glover gets on the end of it with a fierce rammed header to knock in his third goal of the season.
Chris Kelly, what about Leatherhead's task there? Anything in those few clips there that you saw about Leicester that might frighten you?
No, not that we've seen.
You really believe you're going there to win, don't you?
Well, we can obviously win, yeah. If we didn't think we could win, we wouldn't bother going up there. You know, we got this far, we've beaten 2 league sides. We must be in with a chance.
What is it about Leicester that makes you feel you've got a chance?
They're pretty used to losing at the moment.
Good point. You think also they're a bit dodgy at the back, you're telling me?
They got a few faults at the back that we've got players that could capitalise on it.
Do you think there's a chance they might underestimate you?
I don't know. The 2 sides have done it before, and I should think they'd be a little bit more wary than the others were, although apparently they haven't been to come and have a look at us. But if they do underestimate us, they could be in for a bit of a shock.
What about, there's a special trick apparently that you've got up your sleeve that...
well...
Because you had a shuffle that beat Brighton, and is it what's happening about that? Is there a variation on that?
It is a variation on it, but I won't use it till next week. And if things go well, you might see something you haven't seen before.
Do you think there's a danger you might go there and get a big hiding, though?
No. We never get beaten by a lot. If we lose, it'll be 1 goal. We certainly won't get a good hiding.
What are you doing that's special this week at Leatherhead?
Well, we're training later on this afternoon.
How does that go down?
Not too well with the players after a Saturday night session, but we've got to sort of get the drink out of our systems, and we'll be training Tuesday night, Thursday night, and going away on Friday. Perhaps do a little bit in the afternoon on Friday, and then just into the game on the Saturday.
They've got a lot of skillful players, haven't they? Keith Weller, Frank Worthington.
Yeah, but we got some really skillful players, exceptionally skillful, not just ordinary run-of-the-mill amateurs who come along on a Saturday, with a bag. They work at it, and they're good.
You're a well-organised club.
Well-organised club. We're not a well-organised side because the players we've got couldn't. You can't organise them to the extent that you can get average players and make them into a unit. We're more on individual ability. We're skillful players.
But you still think you've got a chance?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Chris, it's lovely to have you in today, and I think as we go into our letters spot now, I think you should hang around a bit because the first letter I know is going to interest you. It's that goal of yours that beat Brighton in the last round. Have you seen it before?
We saw it last Saturday morning after we'd had our steak before the game in a cup game. We were...
Most of us on the ball?
Yeah, most of us were coming back from the lunch, and we were going through the high street, and we all congregated outside the television shop, and we were all jumping up and down like a load of loonies.
Lovely. Well, I tell you what, you're going to enjoy it again. I don't know about dancing up and down like a loony, but there are many viewers who wanted to see it. Andrew West of 16 Lodge Close, Fetcham in Surrey, Caroline Brennan of 18 Mansfield Road, Chessington in Surrey, and Steve Mountain of Tall Timbers, Burton Corner, Petworth in Surrey. Here we go with the accompaniment coming, as you know, from the Leatherhead bench. Magic?
Oh, yeah. George Best was the last bloke to score one like that. Wasn't he? Oh, it's
I hope
terrific.
you can do it next week, Chris. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks a lot.
Well, last week we mentioned Jack Durston, who played cricket for Middlesex and football for Brentford on the same day. And that really has provoked quite a bit of correspondence from you. Mr. P.K. Drury of the Spinney, Lee Place, Cobham in Surrey recalls Dr. Kevin O'Flanagan, who played for Arsenal just after the war. And on successive Saturdays in 1947, played association football and then rugby football at full international level for Ireland. He was also an Irish sprint champion and a 3-handicap golfer as well, not bad. I remember too that Jack Kelsey, the Arsenal goalkeeper, played for Wales in Birmingham in the afternoon, still got back to Highbury in time to play in a night match for Arsenal against Juventus. And then there's Laurie Cook of 109 Ellesmere Road, Dollis Hill, London NW10, who reminds us of the great W.G. Grace. And it seems that the good doctor played for England when he was just 18 at cricket, of course, and in one game scored 224 not out, and then, would you believe it, got the captain's permission to pop over to Crystal Palace, where he won the 440 yards hurdles championships. Lovely to see that bit of unique film of the great doctor there. I wonder if you can think of any other great sporting doubles like that. If you can, let me know about them. And while we're on a cricketing theme, I should say that I had a letter this week from Derek Underwood in Australia confirming how popular the programme has become out there, he says, not least with the MCC lads. We're glad about that, and we hope that it inspires them maybe to do something for us in the last couple of test matches as well. And I suppose with the weather at West Ham yesterday, you can say we do need a bit of cheering up in that direction too. But now we come to our new feature, the Big Match Playback, which brings you some action from the past. It occurred to us that there are hundreds of hours of brilliant football in our library which may never see the light of day again, and that obviously is wrong. So we're going to dust off some of them so that we can all enjoy them once more. And you'll get the chance to choose your own particular favourite. But to get the ball rolling, we've pulled out an Arsenal match played in September 1969 against Manchester United. Some famous faces who've now departed from the scene, some who've remained. And this is how it was.
McClintock going up into the Manchester United penalty area. Radford on the goal line. Armstrong with the corner, low one. And it's there! By Graham! 1 minute, 20 seconds gone. George Graham puts Arsenal ahead. Looking to get it for a moment on that lethal left foot. And now Willie Morgan. Morgan with another chance. And having two chances there and not really making the most of either of them. Best. Still Best. Oh, magnificent shot by Best against the crossbar. What magnificent skills to produce a shot like that from a situation as close as that was. George Best. And now caught for Arsenal. Rice in now for Samuels. Still Samuels, and he's got a bang on him. Oh, magnificent goal! John Samuels! His first goal of the season. Bobby Charlton. Best off in chase. Can he give Simpson the slip? A shot and a goal! A mistake by Webster. Goal by Best. A tragic error though by Malcolm Webster. Brian Kidd. Fooling Robertson. And again. To Bobby Charlton. Fitzpatrick down the right. This one is aimed towards him. And he kept it well. Found Best. Still Best. Onto that left foot. Oh, good save! Good save by Webster. And marvellous control and a shot again by George Best. Aston. Kidd looking for it and getting it. Morgan wanting it on the right. Best in the middle again. McClintock shadowing him. Now Best! Best! It's there by Sadler! Sadler putting it home. Made for him unmistakably by Best.
Memories. And I suppose action that really underlines the tragedy of the disappearance from the game of George Best. And certainly in those days the commentator used to shout a bit as well. Now, if there's a big match that you want to see again, and remember we started in 1968, so it's got to be since then, one that brings back all the memories for you, then drop us a line to Big Match Playback, London Weekend Television, London SE99. The Big Match Playback, London Weekend Television, London SE99. And we'll have another one for you next week. Our last match today is a real scorcher between Norwich City, challenging hard for promotion to the First Division, and of course their League Cup semi-finalists too, and York City at Carrow Road. A match that was noted for 2 goals that came in sensational fashion in the first 90 seconds, and we'll show you that exactly as it happened from the kick-off. Pictures from Anglia, commentator Jerry Harrison. Norwich are in the lighter shirts.
Mike Taylor, the referee from Deal in Kent, is a PTI in the Royal Marines. It's York City in the dark shirts to kick off. York haven't played for 8 days, they've had a good rest. Norwich City, of course, still feeling the aches and pains of last Wednesday night. But they've got good support here, and they're anxious to get an early break. York City with clear objectives, points for survival, only 2 away victories this season. The last side they beat 9 games ago was Norwich City. And Norwich themselves, of course, a complicated day. Inevitably, a lot on their minds. Anticlimax, anxious to avoid injury, perhaps a lack of concentration, real problems, but they've got to drive themselves forward. Appeals half-heartedly, but it's still not cleared. And now, that's a good shot from Butler, cleared off the line, and now it's in by Seal. Butler shot, and Seal puts it in. And that's 40 seconds. Jimmy Seal, the man who scored the winner at York against Norwich 9 games ago, puts York ahead in the 40th second. It came across, it wasn't cleared, then Butler got a shot in, half cleared off the line, but Seal ran it in from pitch distance, 1-0. So Jimmy Seal already making a name for himself. The crowd behind Norwich, but they're going to need every single one of them on the terraces now. Lions. Seal out to right back Calvert. Now Lions out there, and of course York really buzzing. And here's another one. Yes! Jones has scored 2-0, and that's 90 seconds. Chris Jones. Lions left wide on the right from that pass from right back Calvert. Coming inside, Jones motoring into the penalty area. First time right foot, Keelan left with no chance. 2-0, Chris Jones the scorer. McDougall to Powell. Awkward ball for him, does well to get it. Topping got plenty of time to put it back to his goalkeeper. The goalkeeper making it difficult for him by coming to it. If he'd have stayed there, it would have been a lot easier. Colin Suggett, he's got a lot of room. He could be punished for this. Suggett, the ricochet. Oh! In the back of the net. The goal that Norwich City badly wanted after a pretty disastrous game so far for them. And they got a touch of luck there as Suggett was left with a lot of space, much too much space. He shot, he hit a defender, and Crawford then had no chance. 2-1. Awkward one for Sullivan, the wind swinging it out of it, and out it goes. Throw into York. And in this last quarter of an hour or so, Norwich City are obviously going to remember and feel that hard game they had at Old Trafford last Wednesday, whereas York City didn't play last week. And Jones now is set free. Can he make it 3-1? Yes! Chris Jones, well hit. And that surely is the end of Norwich City's revival. Suddenly, Chris Jones was set free. He broke through a group of 3 Norwich City players. Keelan came out to narrow the angle, but my word, he hit that well. Off the underside of the bar. Sullivan, can McDougall get in there? Gets a corner. Well, Norwich have got about 7.5 minutes left to try and improve this convincing-looking scoreline of 3-1 to York as Suggett takes the corner. Forbes chasing this, he's got Maguire behind him. Here's Maguire. And a good one. Oh, well hit. David Stringer. Good play by Stringer. As the ball broke free from that corner, Duncan Forbes chased it, touched it back well to Maguire. Maguire, a nicely controlled pass to Stringer, a side foot, and Crawford didn't get a sniff.
3-2 to York, and that's it. Don't forget those special cup tie editions are both on the ball and the big match next weekend. Good luck to Leatherhead up at Leicester and, of course, to Wimbledon at Leeds. But we leave you today with a tribute to the referee at West Ham. Bold decision by Peter Willis of Durham to play the game in the first place, and we salute him for that. To be followed by 2 brilliant refereeing decisions that gave those marginal penalties. I hope more referees take the same attitude. Simple equation, really. More penalties, more goals, more excitement, more interest in the game of football. Well done, ref.
Neatly there on his chest. A yard or 2 ahead of him. Going past one rather half-hearted challenge after another. And a free kick. No, penalty! Playing along the line for Thomas. Can he get round Lampard? That looked to me a bit like a push. That looked to me a bit like a push in the area. And he's given a penalty. That looked like a push to me, and I believe the referee advised from the right.